Hello, my name is Ryan Beam. I'm a sophomore at the University of Kentucky. I'm double majoring in economics and statistics. In this series, I just like to explore how data and AI and software are applied in the real world setting. So, usually, I talk to industry professionals and people working in their fields and ask them questions to help gain insights and see how they are applying the concepts of data and AI to the real world. But today I'm doing something a little different where I'm going to jump into something that is a current event and kind of analyze, how it works. What are the data implications? How is AI affecting anything? And just kind of jump into it and see what are the underlying conditions and how things are operating and why things are operating like they are. So, what I just want to briefly jump into today is related to Claude and Anthropic and their most recent addition to the growing stack of tools and AI innovations and promises that they are making that is rapidly shaking up the market. And this is the Code Modernization Playbook, which they recently released. And within this playbook, it kind of walks through transforming legacy systems with AI. Now, this isn't an overly technical document, but it really gives practitioners and people looking to modernize these coding systems a way to do it, more efficiently with way less money, and it's scared a lot of investors. Recently, IBM lost $30 billion in market value, and a lot of that is to do with this playbook and what Claude is promising they can do when it comes to transforming legacy systems like COBOL, which is an older programming language that helps power a lot of Fortune 500 companies' infrastructure. So, a lot of banks, a lot of airlines, and a lot of different things that are very important to society run on this very old, this 50 plus year old programming language that has been kept around and survived all these innovations because it's reliable and it's been embedded into the system long enough to where it is cheaper to just deal with it, to innovate and trade it out. But what Claude is doing with this playbook is kind of saying, all right, well, we have a way to transform these legacy systems in a much cheaper way. And that really threatens IBM because IBM makes a lot of money off their systems and their hardware that help run COBOL in these different industries. So that's one of the reasons IBM has not pushed to do something like this sooner, because they've had some AI capabilities and ways to modernize things, but they also make a ton of money off these systems. So if they modernize too quick, they're going to lose out on a lot of money, and it's one of the things that has kept back innovation. But Claude has stepped in and tried to kind of take over that world. So let's just kind of jump into a couple things. As you can see, it's not very long. It's not a ton of technical mumbo jumbo. It's very digestible, and I think that's a big reason it is kind of taking the market by storm. And you can kind of see here, this is an example of some COBOL, and then down here is what it's translated to, some Java facilitated by Claude Code, as it says. So this is really shaking up how things are looking in this industry, and it's been a huge player for IBM, who has wiped out a ton of value because Anthropic and Claude kind of threatens a market that they have cornered when it comes to evolving these legacy systems. As you can see, just looking at the IBM stock, it had a dramatic decrease, and a lot of this is due to Claude Code and their modernization playbook. And this is an ongoing trend where Anthropic releases a new tool or a new promise or a new thing that they say Claude can help automate or make less valuable, and investors react. So it's a very interesting thing within the market. And it's a very interesting thing to see these AI companies like Claude affect things so drastically and scare investors into selling and do things like that. So it's very cool to see, and very cool to see how these things are going to pan out. Now, this is where I think there is an important nuance. This tool does not automate migration. It doesn't instantly make all the problems associated with COBOL automation and COBOL migration painless. But this just makes things a little less scary. COBOL migration has been something that has needed to happen for a long time. These systems need updating, but the risk was too high. It's too difficult to make these migrations. It's too expensive sometimes, and especially when the people who are experts on these code bases and COBOL as a language, they're retiring. They're exiting the workforce in mass because they're getting into the ages of 50, 60, 70. So there was really this gate and fence around the knowledge needed to take on a lot of this, and it's only becoming more and more challenging. And that's why I think this is an important tool that's put out, and I think it will be a real game changer as we look to migrate these legacy systems. And I think it is a very cool application of AI.